once
So
they get into stealth
it'd
mode.
be silly to report that a mission is being carried out on B-2 bombers that you can see. That's just common sense.
They purposely put out that they had planes going to Guam to fake out that there were actually planes going to Iran. It was a fake out. So,
I mean, I just don't think that any rational person, you seem very rational, would think that any mission is being carried out with B-2s that you can see on radar.
If you look at every military plane, you can track them except for when they go into stealth mode. So
right,
they were all
which means that they're not on mission, right? Because if they're on mission, you're not going to see them.
So that's what I'm saying. It's like they took off and they were all looking like they were heading to Guam. Then they went into stealth mode. Some turned and went to Iran.
That's not true. So they had ones leave directly from the East Coast, went straight to their mission. They sent multiple others that went to Guam. Okay? So even that part's not true.
Yeah, they've sent them in different directions.
No, you said that they were all going to Guam and then 2 just veered off. That's not what happened. So when a mission is being carried out like this, you're not going to see shit. You're not going to see the Tomahawks because they're being launched from a location unknown, because you can't see submarines when they're doing that shit. You don't know the lat long for submarines. They don't even have to surface to do what they're doing.
I work for the company that makes the B-2.
Right, so you know that any mission that you're currently conducting, you're not going to see them on radar. You're not even going to see them on radar when they leave. So that's all I'm saying.
No,
I had a question for the panel too.
I think there was. I was just trying to say that there were a set of planes that were going to Guam. That's all I meant to try to come up and say. That's all I wanted.
That's fine.
No, Millie, I appreciate it. I was listening, and you and SK are just absolutely wonderful. And I appreciate all of the things that you do. That's all I was saying. Very knowledgeable.
I have a question for everybody.
Well, thank you for coming up, Gracie. It's nice to meet you.
I'm listening to. Nice meeting you. Bye-bye.
Take care. David, do you have anything else before I drop you down? Is there anything you wanted to talk about?
No, but I agree with your prompt. So thank you for letting me up.
David, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
So you feel like
you trying to ask
Iran?
him a question?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
hey,
I can
David,
ask. It's really open to the panel.
You can re-request, David. I'm sorry, I didn't hear him ask the question before I drop you down. So if you want to come up,
you can answer it too, though. I kind of want to see how everybody feels about it.
go ahead.
So do you feel that Iran shouldn't be able to have nukes? That's kind of how.
Absolutely
you feel
not. Yeah, and their neighbors don't agree with that either.
Their neighbors is in
Saudi Arabia, Jordan,
All of
Egypt,
them. Yeah.
United Arab Emirates, Oman.
Jordan. Yeah, they all of them. Even Jordan.
Like if everybody voted Republicans aren't allowed to have guns, then we're just going to
even China and Russia.
Misinformation. You
exactly
can't say the GUN word. You have to say pew pew. Okay.
Okay.
So if we vote that
my
everybody just
question
can't have
is-
pew pews, then we're going to go with that because they voted for it.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
not just that.
I hold on. I have 2 people talking at one time. So since you're new to the panel, can you wait till he finishes his question?
Yeah, let's wait.
Okay. Go ahead.
So my kind of counter question to that is, okay, if everybody feels that way about Iran, why is Israel allowed to have nukes then? While Iran follows the NPT treaty, they allow inspections to the nuclear facilities. They haven't bombed any of their neighbors within the past 300 years, other than Israel, I believe it was. While Israel has multiple times bombed their neighbors pretty frequently, and never signed the NPT treaty, never allowed inspections to their nuclear facilities. So I guess my kind of question is, how do we feel that way about Iran, but not about Israel? And Israel just can can just have as many nukes as
For
they
the
want
same
to.
for the same reason that we don't attack Kim Jong Un, they already have them, right? So we can't use weapons of mass destruction against them once you've already obtained one. The process is stopping more people from obtaining them, right? So if Kim Jong Un was still in the process of making it and enriching it, we would have tried to take action to stop that if we could.
But
But
don't
they already have it, right? Thus, we can't boom them for it because they already have obtained it. This is about stopping Iran from getting their hands on it and having more nuclear weapons out there. So, and I agree that Israel probably shouldn't have access to that equipment either.
I mean, we can agree on that, but even if they do have them, why not sign the nuclear proliferation treaty? Why not allow inspections on your nuclear facilities? I guess that's just my real question. Now that they do have them, why don't they kind of abide by the correct international laws once you do have nuclear weapons? And
Well,
with
look,
them being
international
one of
law is a bit of a joke. Like, let's be
yeah,
honest.
we know
Nobody
that they
really
haven't
listens
been
and abides by
yeah.
it.
Yeah, the U.S. hasn't,
Yes, they
Israel
do.
hasn't. I mean, that's debatable because we did a lot of war crimes in Afghanistan and Iraq.
I
But
mean, there's war crimes taking place all over the place. Russia's
exactly.
violating international law. The Middle East has violated international law. H Group and Israel, everybody's done it. There's no enforcement arm to international law outside of sanctions. And so what are you going to do? Sanction the United States? I mean, good luck.
That's not true. Do you know Duarte, the old president of the Philippines?
The old president of the Philippines? No, but I'd like to
Yeah,
learn
the
more
guy
about
that Trump loved about his Drogo policies. He's now in prison in The Hague, where Trump just went recently because of international law. And one day, Bibi and Trump could be there too. So
But-
could Putin.
What prison are they in?
The Hague.
The Hague?
Yeah. Are you not familiar with The Hague?
No.
Wow.
Like my
And Democrats
my
are victims
guy,
of
my
propaganda.
guy.
Literally, Trump just
this might
visited
be a
there,
shock
but prior
to
to
you.
that,
This
it's
might
only
be a
the most
shock to
famous
you.
prison on the planet.
I don't think that's the most famous prison on the planet. No.
It's the international prison where the biggest prisoners ever go. That's where freaking Schmittler would have went.
Yeah, I don't agree with that, but
That's
fine.
a fact.
Listen, I will sit here. I'm probably one of the only creators on this app that will come out and say I don't know everything at all times. Okay, and that's okay.
But you
to
will say that people like
it's
me are
okay
victim
to
of
say that we
propaganda,
don't
when
know
we're clearly
certain
not.
things. Yeah, can you stop talking over me? Thank you. It's okay to say that we
It's
don't
called a
know
conversation, sweetheart.
Talk over me again. I don't have the patience for that shit today. Okay. So it's okay for people to come out and say that we don't know everything. I don't know everything. I'm not going to pretend to know everything. Okay. And there's a lot of other people that will bullshit.
But
on
you
this
just
app and
pretended
say
you
that
knew
they do.
international law and that nothing ever happens.
Okay. So when did an American
But it does happen.
president go
The dude's
to
in prison.
jail? When did Putin go to jail? When did Bibi go to jail?
Probably in the next few years.
When did Osama bin Laden?
It took years for
When
Duarte
did
to go to
Osama bin
prison.
Laden go to jail?
They got rid of him first.
Okay, what about the head of Iraq?
You realize that coming up with all these random
about
people that
Saddam?
didn't end up there doesn't mean that it doesn't exist.
What about
Trump literally
Saddam?
just went there and had a meeting
Okay,
there.
so you keep saying like all the people that violate international law go straight to Hague, right?
Yes,
not
it takes
there.
time typically. It typically takes time. Duarte's there.
Okay,
You can
so
look up
like
a
I
list
guess
of other
that
people
kind
that
of
are there.
depends on your status, right?
Yeah, you're either free a criminal or you're not. That's a status.
Okay, so where is Hague located?
It's in the Netherlands.
Okay.
Literally, Trump just
So-
went there. It was
so
in the
is
news
it-
for days. It's
is
where
it
he
the
said
Dutch?
daddy. They called me daddy. You remember that?
Yeah, no, I understand the world calls the U.S. daddy, but so is the Dutch having control over who goes to prison?
It's determined by the International Court of Law at The Hague, the court that you said doesn't do anything, which in fact
Okay.
they do a lot.
Well, they don't. because if they did, Putin would be in jail, Zelensky would be in jail, Bibi Netanyahu.
You realize
would be
they
in
can't
jail,
just march
Soleimani
over
would
into
be in
Russia
jail,
and Israel. It
Abu
takes
Bakr
time.
al-Baghdadi would be in jail, Saddam would be in jail.
Criminals
Ayatollah
don't
would
just
be
go
in
to jail
jail.
instantly. Things take time, especially international law when the criminals involved are presidents and world leaders. You
Okay, so
understand the
do
difference, right?
something. I don't see them doing anything about the world leaders. I didn't see them do anything about H Group. I didn't see them doing anything.
What
about
part did you
Hezbollah
miss about
or the
Duarte,
Houthis.
the
I didn't see them do
ex-president of the
shit about
Philippines, is in
Al-Qaeda.
prison? How did you miss that?
What do you mean? How did I miss that? Because it's irrelevant.
Okay.
Because people
Listen.
only a few detainees are actually going there. Do you know it can only accommodate 1,000 detainees?
Yes, they only need that many. They only hold the most important, heinous people on the planet there. They have
So-
like 30
so
prisoners
they're-
right now. But
they're
they're
only
all like
enforcing-
major
They're only
teists.
enforcing
They're
the law for
massive.
1,000 people, guys. Just so we know. And not any of the relevant people, by the way.
Are you really that low IQ? Are you
No,
going
it's
to be
not
that
low
disingenuous?
IQ. It's literally it says that it only contains
1,000 people. How many people does
detainees.
Alligator Alcatraz hold?
It consists of two.
How many people does
locations.
Alligator Alcatraz hold?
We haven't constructed that officially. What are you
Oh,
talking
well, I
about?
haven't constructed it. So it holds 0 people. So you must want criminals to be free. That's your logic.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's not
It's
the
what they have.
logic.
It
It's that it's only
opens
containing 1,000
tomorrow.
people, and it's not containing any
It's
of the people
crazy
that
that
are
you didn't even
currently
know the Hague
violating
existed and you
international
think
law.
international law doesn't do anything. You're just way
It
out
literally
there.
Literally
opens
doesn't.
tomorrow.
The Hague exists, and the most criminal, heinous people that have been tried are there. You've got
Okay, so-
Rodrigo
so when we
Duarte,
boom-boom
Maxime
Iraq,
Macomb, Makat Said Abdel Khani, Paul
where's the US
Gacharu,
president?
Ali Gashabi.
Where is the U.S. president in The Hague? Where's Putin in The Hague?
4 to 5 years.
So literally, you have world leaders that are violating international law. Where are they in fucking prison? If it's so fucking
You're gonna have to
effective,
give me a
we should be
second.
able
My
to
voice
take
has switched over.
actual leaders that are violating international law and put them in prison, correct?
Hello.
Hello?
My Bluetooth switched over. Sorry, I missed the last thing you said.
Okay, so if it was actually effective, we'd be able to take world leaders that are violating international law and put them in prison.
Yeah, Rodrigo Duarte,
not
he was a
happening.
massive leader of the Philippines. Trump talked about him. He loved him. He liked his ideas. That guy just got tried and sent to prison there in March this year. He was the
Great,
president of the Philippines for years.
One leader.
That is the most recent leader. All the other
Okay,
ones
so
are like
what about the
criminals from
United States?
African teist groups and things like that. These are like the top. You've got a guy from Yugoslavia. He used
I
to
would
be.
think that the top person that's violating international law would be Putin right now.
Yes, that's true. And if you give it a few
and
years, he's
why
probably
isn't
going to be
he
there.
not in The Hague.
Because he is the president of Russia and he has a ton of weaponry and people around him protecting him.
Right.
But given
so when you have
given time, he will be in the Hague or he will be unalived.
okay, well, so either you get unalived, and is that an order from the International Court?
No, that's just how it goes.
Oh, okay. So
A lot of times these people would rather
So all
end
of
up
the
being
dirty
unalived or
work-
unaliving themselves before they get a chance to go to that trial, just like
Yeah.
Schmittler did.
so here's the
Schmittler did
problem.
not want to go to the Nuremberg trials, I'll tell you that. That's why
Yeah,
he
so
unalived
here's the
himself.
problem
That's how
with
this
the
goes.
logic Is,
You might
yeah,
wanna
so
open a
here's the
history
problem
book,
with the
sweetheart.
logic. Again, here's the problem with the logic is that any world leader with actual power doesn't fucking listen to any of that shit because
Eventually, they don't have power.
for them.
Eventually, they don't have power. You know that, right?
Well, the international court is a fucking joke. You can only get your hands off people that don't have the power to resist you.
So if they're a joke, why did Trump just go visit them and have a meeting with them? And should they just release all the prisoners that are there?
where they
It's a
call them
joke?
daddy.
Should they just release
Talk
them
about
all?
that one.
Should they just release them all?
Release them all? I don't know. I mean, we could just unalive them. That's the alternative, right? Save us some money.
I mean, sure. I would
And by
agree
the
that
way,
most of the
Donald
people
Trump
there
did meet
deserve
with the International
unalived,
Court
but I
of
think them being in
Justice.
prison
He
is
met
the
with
worst
fucking
punishment.
NATO.
Yeah, at the Hague, the international prison area there. That's the Hague.
Oh, they were touring the prison?
No, Trump didn't go tour the prison, but it's there.
Okay,
It's the
so they're
same
not at The
place.
Hague.
It's literally the same place.
So they're not at The Hague.
Yes, they were at The Hague.
Okay.
Look up the news
Can I get the
reports.
pictures of
Oh,
Donald Trump at The Hague?
oh my goodness. Okay, I'll do that for you.
Oh. Anyways, the international court is irrelevant to anybody that can actually resist them, so it's literally pointless.
I mean, even if
Okay,
you
so
are calling it,
for example, so let's say Trump isn't the president in 2029, and he's no longer in charge of any military, any government, nothing. You think that he's not going to have some trouble with the International Court of Law, perhaps?
Okay, so we can just go snatch up Obama, right? We can snatch up George Bush.
If the International
Obama
Court of Law
office.
had some court case where they determined he broke some laws, then yeah, go do it. Grab him up.
Okay, so the international court, are they going to do anything about Bush invading Iraq?
Have they had a court trial about that and said that it broke international law?
Well, do you think it broke international law? Do you think that
It
there
may
are laws
have.
against invading
I didn't
sovereign
particularly
territory?
like it. I think it was a waste of time and money for the most part. So yeah, let's lock them up.
No, I
Lock up
asked
Bush
if
and
there's
Obama.
international
Bush,
laws
Obama,
regarding invading sovereign territory.
Trump, lock them all up.
Okay, is there international laws about invading sovereign territory?
Not sure about that. I'm not an international law guy.
Weren't you just like dogging on me for the lack of knowledge when it comes to The Hague? But I'm asking
The lack of knowledge about the Hague's existence, the most famous prison on the planet that everybody talks about, and that Trump just visited like a week ago. Trump just visited there. It was a huge story, and you don't even know about it. That's wild to have a thing that says Democrats are victims of propaganda, and you don't even know the basic of national news from last
Propaganda
week.
would be believing news
From
outlets
last
who
week,
put out
honey. It was
information.
only a week
not the lack of
ago.
Information, first of all. So I don't even think you understand what propaganda is, because propaganda is.
Oh, I do.
false
Your whole page is
information.
propaganda. You are a shepherd for the sheep.
lack of information isn't propaganda.
You are a propagandist. Your TikTok
Okay,
is
so
a propaganda
let's go
page.
back
You
to the
barely understand
definition.
politics. You're a
Is the
grifter
lack
that
of information
propagates
propaganda?
information for sheeps.
Okay, so you just keep like blah 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 blah, and every time anybody says anything, you just
ask the
keep
question.
talking over them. Do you know what a steamroll is?
Yeah, it's what I do to ladies like you.
Yeah, that's gross.
Or it's a thing that, paves roads. It flattens them out, compresses the gravel, makes the road more sturdy. I'm an engineer, by the way.
I mean, that's great. I don't know
It's
why-
just crazy that you didn't know what the Hague was. I mean, anybody that in the comments that can't admit that is just out of touch.
I don't understand. So, like, if I say I don't know what the Hague is specifically, right, and I acknowledge that, would you rather me have like pretended that I did?
No, that's what you usually
Okay.
would do, but it's just
So-
crazy that you didn't know what it was.
Nobody-
That's like Trump was
so-
just there.
So
It was a
now that
national
I've-
news
now
story.
that I've done the research on this, you understand that The Hague is the actual city. That's not the actual prison itself.
It's called The Hague. It's known as The Hague. People reference it in movies, music, in person. Everybody knows it as The Hague.
But it's not the actual name of the prison.
It's called the ice. Okay, my goodness. There's 12 detention cells in the Dutch prison in Schwengen, The Hague, is what it's known as. It says here, right here on Wikipedia. What do you know it as? What is it called?
I think The Hague is the actual location.
Yes, it's the location, and because of its famous nature, that is what the facility itself is now known as. Its
Yeah,
technical
I'm
name
just
is
saying, 'cause you
its
said-
technical name is simply
you said-
ICC Detention
You
Center.
said okay.
So no wonder The Hague became more popular.
One, The Hague is a city. Okay.
Yes,
And there
it's
might
in
be
the city of
prisons
Hague.
located
Yes.
there might be prisons located there. However, The Hague is.
Wow, you're going
the city of the
deep into the
Netherlands.
delusional reverse
I
stuff.
mean,
Okay.
When
It's
you say
called
that
The
Donald Trump
Hague.
visited The Hague, right, and you made it sound like he went to the actual prison. He didn't go to the actual
He
prison.
went there.
He went to the city.
He went to the International Criminal Court, which is where it is. It is in the city of The Hague. The prison is known as The Hague. The whole place is known as The Hague.
Well, that's because it's a fucking city. Jesus.
So what are you trying to say right now?
Is it like
What I'm trying to say right now is that the conversation still stands that the international court is fucking irrelevant when they don't have.
They're
the
not
authority to
irrelevant.
go
They put
grab
people in
current-
prison. They
Yeah.
uphold laws. People literally go out of their way to not break
Yeah,
international
listen,
law,
if
so
you
they
just
don't
keep-
end up
if
there.
you keep
You're
steamrolling,
delusional.
I am going to drop you because I
Good
can't
luck
have
with that.
conversations with people that just talk over. their
Hang on, I want to
opposition.
ask him a question.
Sure.
Do it.
Why are you so obsessed with this place? Is it like your dream to put people?
Not
in prison
obsessed
that
with it. It's just
disagree
crazy
with
that she
you
didn't know what it
politically?
was, especially when Trump was just there.
It seems
It's a
kind of
very important world place. It's one of the most important world locations.
Okay, according to you, great. Oh, so
According to Trump's visit there.
oh, so it's about Trump for you, really? That's all it ever is, right?
Does Trump going there with all the world
No,
leaders
what does
not
that mean
imply
exactly,
its important
dude?
nature? Does
Listen,
that not imply
Kenny
it's an
G?
important place
Kenny
to you?
G. Listen, what happened after you won the Grammy?
Who the fuck is Kenny G, bro?
He looks just like you. I thought you were him. Maybe you should.
I am him, but I'm not him.
Big. Numerous people on this live have called you Kenny G. You
so
haven't
I'm
thought of
trying to
that?
understand,
Okay,
right?
that's neato. I'm sure they're all 6
Hold
years
on.
old and bedridden and shit. So
So why? Let me ask you.
What?
Okay, who's the enforcement arm of NATO?
who is the enforcement arm of NATO? I don't know.
You don't know. Do you really not know, or
Are you just like reading Wikipedia and asking me random quiz questions now? Is that where we're at?
Well, I mean,
Because
that's
you
what
didn't know what The
just
Hague
did,
was?
like 10 seconds ago.
I'm getting a phone call, so I can't hear you, but I'm glad you can still
Okay,
hear me.
then get the fuck out. Bye.
Yeah, go visit the Hague.
Go visit the Hague. The conversation still stands that international court is irrelevant because if you have current dictatorships that are doing global domination, there's no enforcement agency. You can find them guilty in international court, but there's no enforcement agency to enforce that.
Even if international court is irrelevant, right? You already agreed Israel probably shouldn't have nukes. Like I said, they're not following the NPT treaty. They're not allowing inspections on their facilities. You don't think that kind of forms a natural hierarchy in the Middle East of them being one of the only countries with those weapons?
Why do you have a problem with Israel?
They're not the only.
I don't.
They're not the
You
only
didn't-
people
you
in
didn't
the
listen
Middle
to my
East that have
question.
access to those weapons.
I
Yeah,
mean,
but you're
as-
specifically
as
talking
close
about Israel.
as
Why?
in India and Pakistan.
Yeah, they got nukes
Right.
too, right?
Yeah, but
But you
they're
specifically
not
mentioned
really in
Israel.
the exact region of you know, they're not as close to places like Yemen, Syria, Lebanon, you know, kind of